Hey guys, here we are. We're gonna have a little discussion about video games here, and we're shooting from an undisclosed location.
Laredo, Texas,
Shut
7521.
up! Shut.
Right.
Pay no attention to that. I hope you don't understand that. Please don't kill us. Anyway, I've had some chocolate milk and I'm ready to go. Let's go ahead and talk some games. Okay, well today, as you can see, we are on this waterbed. It belongs to my friend AJ, who's here.
Melfiscus on YouTube. Yeah, I don't make videos except for one stupid one, but check out my favorites. They're pretty cool.
Okay, self-advertisement. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they don't know how to spell that. But today we're basically going to discuss gaming in general. Primarily the two consoles, the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Now, would you like to go ahead and tell us a few reasons as to why you purchased the Xbox 360?
Well, I didn't. Back when we were younger, my parents would get me the consoles, and they said I couldn't afford either one when it first came out. So I waited until I had moved and I had my own job, and I was saving up for it. And then the Xbox slashed their price and made it really lower, and like $100 lower or something. And I played Halo, and it was an exclusive, and I'm like, I love playing that online, you know. It's exclusive. Those were the two reasons. And then Andy could quote me on the. Andy quotes me on this all the time. He's like, "Why did you say this?" I said, "I got it for the graphics, Andy." And he's like, "No, AJ, no." I learned now, but it doesn't matter because I have a non-HD TV, so it doesn't.
Did that factor into your decision at all?
It didn't really. I guess it kind of did because I knew I wasn't going to get an HD TV because they're so expensive, and I was going to have to buy it. And at the time they were more expensive, and I was like, if I'm not going to get all that, which is what it's advertising for, then why am I going to buy it?
Now, something I have noticed a lot with Xbox 360 users is they have a tendency to still have two TVs or projection TVs. I have noticed that quite a bit, and with PS3 owners, they have HD TVs a lot. I mean, a prime example is, if you look over there, that is AJ's TV. Look over there.
I already looked over there.
Look again.
Okay, well, we'll compare AJ's TV versus on this floor we have this Andy Sony TV.
Okay, well that was the camera person of Courage, Priscilla Ritchie, my wife. Okay, now, the reasons I bought the PS3 is, well, I've been playing PlayStation since the first one came out. It blew my mind away. And then the second one came out, and that was one of the greatest consoles of all time, in my opinion. And now, when I was looking at the next-gen consoles, I knew that I was most likely going to go with PlayStation, but there was a slight doubt in my options because a lot of people had the Xbox 360. Now, here's one of my points. I bought the PS3 because when I look at the games that are available on the PlayStation 3, it seems to have more variety, and I was really looking to buy games like Folklore and just Devil May Cry and all of that. Those kinds of games. I'm not really into first-person shooters, which are now called shooters by most casual gamers out there. And when I look at the Xbox 360's collection, I see a lot of first-person shooters.
Well, that's true with the PS3 too. They're just popping out, you know.
Well, see, it wasn't at first. At first, they were releasing games like of the action-adventure, third-person perspective kind of games. But as the years gone along, they've started having to release first-person shooters because that's all casual gamers are playing these days. I have a big beef with casual gamers. I feel like they're really downgrading the video game industry.
I have a little thought on that. I think the reason that there was more variety in the PS3 games is because the developers knew they were developing for an HD setting, and they were more excited about it, and the PS3 was more expensive back then, and PC TVs were more expensive, so
Right.
it was a more exclusive thing, and everyone was excited that was developing was probably more excited to make, their own kind of game for it instead of just a shooter. It's like making a horror film for a director.
But I mean, if you look at my PS2 collection, I have maybe 4 first-person shooters out of 78 video games. And you look at my PS3 collection, I have about 35 right now. And I have a few more shooters because that's really all there is to play. I do have quite a few third-person games, but it just seems like the gamers of today don't really seem to buy that. Which really disappoints me, because I remember a day where Devil May Cry 4 would have gone greatest hits in no time at all. And now, this brings to mind a recent announcement. Metal Gear Solid Rising, which was announced at E3 to be for both consoles. Now, Metal Gear Solid 4 was great looking, wasn't it? I showed it to you.
I watched it. It was probably the best looking game I've seen, except maybe some computer games on HD laptops that I've looked at, but those were just really made to be pretty. This one was like gameplay and good looks, and supposedly it's really long too.
Yes, it took me 30 hours. And now I'm very disappointed about Metal Gear Solid Rising being on both consoles, because I'm just like, they're gonna have to dumb down the graphics. Because Metal Gear Solid 4 can never be run on the Xbox 360. And it's just, I'm still gonna buy it, still gonna play it, obviously, but I feel that it's not gonna look as good as Metal Gear Solid 4 did.
It's because it's the next game in the genre, and every game preceding it was better than the last. So you would expect that the graphics would go up as well, but they're trying to reach out so that more people can play it, because a lot more people, like you said, bought the Xbox 360. I guess they had good advertising or something.
Or cheaper.
Cheaper.
You said it yourself, you bought it when its price slashed down. You looked at that, you were like, that's cheaper. I don't have the TV for a PS3. You bought an Xbox 360. Now, is there anything you particularly feel that is holding the PS3 back from the consumer?
Well, the price and the fact that it's so awesome down an HDTV with it, that it has a Blu-ray hard drive. I mean, it has a Blu-ray disc player.
Right.
Like, why would you buy that if that with that factor in there?
Now, I have another interesting question for you. Why do you feel that, despite the fact that most consumers do have Xbox 360s, why do you feel that HD DVD lost in that little battle they had there to determine the next format?
Because of the data available on it, the amount of data available on an HD disc versus a Blu-ray disc, you can put a lot more like special features and a lot longer videos. They released them at first, and they were like 720i, and
Right.
they were trying to get them higher, but they didn't have the money to continue doing it because Blu-ray was beating them out. It was a competition for a while.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But I'm sad that HD. I jokingly tell Andy that I'm going to collect all the few HD DVDs that are out there so that I can watch them and just laugh to myself.
Well, the only thing to play is the Xbox 360. Now, do you feel that the fact that the Xbox 360 doesn't have the Blu-ray capability, do you think that holds the console back at all?
Yes, that makes you have to. If you have an Xbox 360 and you're an older player, because people are getting older that play video games.
I know I am.
You have to buy a separate Blu-ray player.
Now, a lot of things that fanboys of either console will say, preferably from Xbox 360 owners, I hear a lot about them that they bought the Xbox 360 for the online community. Now, with the previous gen consoles, the Xbox came out at a time where it was able to prepare for online gaming.